What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have got the craziest match I've played on eFootball so far, and asking the question, is v4.4 broken? The gameplay at the moment is crazy. Let me know about your experience with it, and let me know in the comments below what you think of this video. Because we were live streaming. If you guys want to watch the full version of this with no cuts or no editing in it and the raw footage, you guys can check out the live stream. And in fairness, the first half of the game was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. That's what's even more confusing about it. But I genuinely cannot ever remember having a match like this in eFootball before v4.4. We conceded an unbelievable goal. These are the type of goals I like to concede. Something a bit different, you know, not the meta type goals. An absolute thunderbolt of a shot from Scholes. GG's to the opponent. And in fairness, my players were actually kind of doing okay in the first half. It was an evenly matched game. Even though I had a far superior team, the opponent was really, you know, putting me to the pin of my collar. We did miss a chance here. This is not anything but a user error. This is me just not taking the shot quick enough. That's on me, right? So no complaints about that. But from the second half on, right, with a brilliant save from Schmeichel, the difference in the gameplay in the second half, lads, as I said, crazy. I genuinely cannot explain it. Passes, we're going to go back through this here in a second when we concede this goal. Just take a mental note of this goal as we go 2-0 down. You're thinking, okay, grand. When you slow the gameplay down, man, this is what was happening to me. I literally could not pass the ball, right? Now, I'm not claiming that I am, you know, ranked #1 in the world. I'm not a professional esports player that is, you know, going to be hitting every pass with 100% pass completion. But it was like my players from the first half. I literally could not do anything. And this was not just one isolated incident. This was the kind of start of it. Hitting the post here with Michael Owen. Now, this is the first time we hit the post. But keep an eye on that. That's post hit #1, right? But it's definitely not the last time we hit the post in this game. Again, horrendous pass. No idea what the game is trying to, you know, logicize here or trying to interpret that I'm trying to do here, right? Now, we don't concede out of it, but look at the pass, man. I mean, there's just, like, I'm trying to pass that back to Vieira. And there's no input again. And now we're going to be rocked with a second post hit. So we're going to hit the post twice in quick succession, 70 minutes on the clock. You named it, you called it, it's the third post hit. And we get to follow up Makelele, right? So Makelele is going to get a second follow up here in a second. But from this, man, it just got crazy. Like, as I said, I've never seen the gameplay like this before, you know, before v4.4. In terms of the amount happening in one game, the amount of rebounds. This is Peter Schmeichel. Now, bear in mind, Peter Schmeichel is probably one of the best keepers in the game. But look at this pass here, man. You know, passing it with the left foot would be on here. I'm trying to manually pass it. No control, no input. The game is registering that I'm trying to pass it into a position where my opponent has 3 players to intercept. It's like v4.4 wants it to be chaos. Again, player runs, defense, all my kind of like AI seems to just be on a second slower. And it's not just for me. This is also for the opponent as well. So I do question who it's actually benefiting. Again, we hit the post and we get another follow-up with Claude Makelele. That's his second goal. Now, you're talking about Michael Owen, and I get this conversation the whole time. Oh, Michael Owen doesn't have first-time shot. He doesn't have high enough finishing stats. Your build is wrong, blah, blah, blah. He has first-time shot. He's 92 finishing. What more can I do in these situations when I've got a striker of that caliber, right? Of that caliber, not able to finish and hitting the post 3 times. Again, look at this, a kind of calamity of errors here at the back. This should be a penalty. The referee might as well have his eyes closed. Just no input at all. The collision system all over the place. And we live to fight another day going into extra time. And to be honest with you, I actually wish, looking back at that he had actually scored that goal, right? Moving into extra time, okay? Look at this goal that we get to go ahead. Absolutely, again, nothing really that I can describe about it until you slow it down. And you take a look at the gameplay here. There's no pace, there's no power, there's nothing in the finish whatsoever. And then, in the 105th minute, we've got Peter Schmeichel, who's been fairly ropey all day, parrying it against the post from a very weak free kick. Yeah, it's nicely placed, I mean, but that's directly at Schmeichel, and he just parries it. And I think sometimes, man, when you look at these stats and you look at Schmeichel and you're thinking, how is he making these mistakes? Again, we bring a fresh Paul Scholes on and he literally cannot pass a 5-foot pass. Right, we're back again. It's time for another post hit. Can we win the game? No. We're going to header the ball off the post with Haaland to make it a total of 5 balls that have hit the post alone in one game. I can safely say there's number 1. There's number 2 coming up. I can honestly say, lads, I don't ever remember hitting the post this many times. Like, and even the angle of the shots and the flight of the ball and the angles that the ball was actually hitting the post. Crazy, you know what I mean? Crazy. Now, even though we did score 2 goals out of it with the rebounds, it was just an absolutely crazy game. So I'm at the situation now, man, where it's like, I sometimes feel that, like, when you go back and analyze games, you're like, yeah, I made a mistake there, and I was being a little, crybaby on stream, or I was being a crybaby in that match where I threw my ties out of the pram, and I was playing bad, or I did have this player outmatched, or, yeah, it's realistic that Van Dijk is dominating Collar sometimes in the air. And it's realistic why Michael Owen can hit a first-time pass or a first-time shot. But to have it happen in one game so regularly and so kind of like impactful on the game, for both players, it's not just for me that I'm like, I lost that game because the game was against me. I want to know your thoughts, right? We are going to be doing some feedback, and these videos are quite important, I think, to talk about the issues. It's not about having a bitch and a moan. I love the game, and I love the game in terms of it's fun, it's fluid. These games are not as often as, you would have believed, right? You can have some brilliant passages of play and play the game, and it is quite fun. It's a free-to-play title. We understand it, right? It's not about criticizing the game and not being able to find fun in the game. We're just talking about constructively criticizing the game so that it improves. We're all passionate about the game, and that's why we stream it. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm not a full-time streamer. You know what I mean? I have a real-life job outside of this, and I just want to be able to chill out after my real-life stuff is out of the way, whether it's spending time with the missus. I want to just chill out after work, whatever, and chill out with a game that doesn't kind of like be so inconsistent. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are, right? Let me know what you think of v4.4. What did you think of this video? And yeah, that's pretty much it. What's the crack, lads? Back with the best leveling and training guides for Yaya, Lee Dixon and Peter Schmeichel. We popped in 25 quid. We were only going to not really spend that much, but we did get donations, so we popped it back in. And shout out to all the boys who did donate. But we weren't going to spin because obviously I have Pirlo. I'm going to show you the difference between these two here, right? But we did get these two, Schmeichel and Torre. Dixon as well, will have a leveling guide for him. This is not going to be gameplay specific. I'm going to show you gameplay review of Torre and his positioning and why he's so good, but also why he's not probably as good as the meta guys, right? So let's get straight into it. First up is Yaya Torre. This is the build that we've gone for. Very simplistic build in terms of what he does, right? Obviously, he's 189 centimeters, he's 90 kg, 90 in all defensive stats, and then 85 plus for his speed, acceleration, and balance, as well as tight possession with this build. And of course, you do have that acceleration at 86, kick and power, physical contact, and stamina all above 90, which is pretty decent. We've also given him this agility 2 booster. Our booster 2 is agility. And this is the build. 1 into shooting, 0 into passing. We don't need passing for this build if you're playing into double pivot. 5 into dribbling, 10 into dex, 9 into lower body strength, 4 into aerial strength, 12 into defending, and that is it.